Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning. This is August 12th, 6:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as I pull away from the curb where I leave my job at CBS Sports Radio Network in downtown Manhattan, and we head home to Long Island. So, what is it today? 2 football stories, 2 baseball stories, both out of the NL East, actually, because it's fun over here in the East. Having a good time here doing this podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying it. This is the Dave Talk Sports video podcast. I am your host, Dave Ettinger. And again, I'm of CBS Sports Radio Network, where I work overnight, full time, Monday through Friday. Overnight. Yeah, that's right, overnight. But who's counting? So, as I didn't run any of them over, don't worry. There's no animal cruelty in these videos, but I almost ran over 3 pigeons. They didn't feel like they were going to move out of the way, so I kept driving. It's kind of like that Seinfeld episode where George has got his girlfriend in the car, and he hits the squirrel, and he just doesn't slow down. He doesn't try to hit it on purpose, but he doesn't slow down because he goes, "We had a deal. I thought we had a deal." And of course, because, ultimately, all George really wants is to get laid. He ends up taking the squirrel to the vet and pays all sorts of crazy fees and crazy payments because they got to get these special little tiny tools to fix the squirrel. But no pigeons were harmed in the filming of this video, and no special tiny tools will be needed in any weird vet's offices to fix the pigeons. So on that note, that's a weird start to the podcast, but let's get going. Like I said, 2 football stories, 2 baseball stories, both out of the National League East. Let's start with the football. I kind of want to just get this out there, get this out of the way, and we'll move on to all the normal stuff. All right, his name is Antonio Brown. He's a freaking lunatic. There's something wrong with his brain. The same way I talked about Trevor Bauer almost. I think Antonio Brown has deep-rooted psychological issues. He has mental problems. I'm not kidding about this. I'm not trying to make light of this. I think there's something wrong with him, and I think he needs help. That being said, this is a grown man, supposedly, an adult, supposedly. His name is Antonio Brown. He's the best receiver in the NFL. Maybe that title or that torch will be passed. I think DeAndre Hopkins is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the man didn't drop a pass last year. And if Deshaun Watson can stay healthy and stay on the field, I do like the Texans this year, and I like what DeAndre Hopkins can do. Some other names out there, obviously, in the wide receiver position, but for the last 5 to 7 years, it's hard to argue that anyone has been better than Antonio Brown at the wide receiver position. Ridiculous numbers. All with the Steelers, though. All with the future Hall of Fame quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. Now you look at Antonio Brown in Oakland. If he's even there, if he's even healthy, if he's even on the field, how's he going to play with Mr. Quarterback over there, Derek Carr? I don't know. I really don't know. So the Raiders are really not that good. But Antonio Brown is the clear-cut number 1. I know they brought in Tyrell Williams, a deep threat. That's fine. A bigger guy. More of the prototypical type, 6'4", deep threat receiver. But he's not that good. Showed flashes with the Chargers. But anyway, Antonio Brown's the guy. He's the man there. And he's the man, and he thinks he's the man. And everyone knows how good he can be. Antonio Brown made a whole big stink on his way out of Pittsburgh, right? I need my guarantees. All right, now there's like 30 pigeons in the road, and they're all just flying away. I wish I could turn the camera around and show you. It's a weird pigeon morning. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, Antonio Brown made a big stink when he left Pittsburgh, right? This is just... Sorry, people just cross the street here. Wow, this guy is hammered crossing the street. I literally almost could have just killed this guy. He's just absolutely hammered crossing the street. Doesn't look. It's not the first time that this has happened, but it's 6:40 in the morning on Monday. How are you still drunk? Good God. Anyway, if I ever get to talk about sports today, I guess it'll be a miracle. But wow, that was something. Anyway, Antonio Brown made a big stink on his way out of Pittsburgh. He sat week 17. He didn't show up for practice, or he got benched for week 17. He said, I need to get traded. I demand a trade. I also need guaranteed money. He went on all the different rants and weird rants and social media posts, and he was on an elliptical going on an Instagram rant or something. And then he was selling videos where he could, wish you like a happy moment in, a birthday or a wedding or an anniversary or whatever it was. He was selling these videos for $500, and they were just super weird and awkward. There's just something wrong with this guy, right? But he gets himself traded to Oakland. He gets his guaranteed money. And then we get the story of his weird feet. I'm proud to say I haven't seen the picture. Cryogenic freezing, I don't know, weird stuff. His feet apparently are all jacked up, right? So he's not on the field. He's not practicing. He's not doing anything. He's just taking up space. And then you reach the limit on the grace period that was, all right, guys, in the NFL, we're changing all the helmets, or at least we changed them already. And we gave you a grace period as to which you could still wear your old helmet. But now it's that time. You gotta pick one of the new helmets that are approved on the official list. And Antonio Brown says, rather than picking the best option, he says, well, I can't see. It's a visibility issue with the next best option that you guys have for me. I'd rather retire. Oh yeah? You'd rather retire? Go ahead. Who's stopping you? Go right ahead. That's what I say. I don't care how good you are. I don't care what your name is. I don't care what you're going to do for my team on the field. Be gone. Who are you? And that's the long and the short of it. This guy's nuts. First of all, he's not walking away from $30 million guaranteed dollars because he doesn't like the fit of the approved helmets, right? So everyone who thinks he's actually going to retire, I'll have what you're having. This is just stupid, okay? And this is why I didn't really want to talk about this in the first place, and I'm actually ashamed of myself that 8 minutes and 6 seconds into my podcast, I'm still talking about this clown. So let's move on. He's not retiring. He's not walking away from $30 million. He's going to pick a freaking helmet that's approved on a list, and this will all be recent history. So it's a shame that we're all spending all this time talking about this freaking moron. Go get a sports psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever it is that you need. Get the right chemical imbalance fixed with medication. I don't know what you need. Go figure it out. I don't care anymore, right? So let's move on to my team. Let's move on to the Jets. Sort of suddenly, it's sudden, but it's from a struggling kicker. Chandler Catanzaro. Used to be with the Arizona Cardinals. Has been with the Jets. Having a really, really bad training camp. They were already bringing in kickers to compete with him to see if he was going to be the Jets kicker this season. And then just says, walks into Adam Gase's office and says, I'm going to retire. I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm done. I'm retiring. And that's literally what Adam Gase said, that Catanzaro said. He walked into my office and goes, I'm done. I'm retiring. And he's moving on. So the Jets need a new kicker. They got a couple of people they're trying out, and it's a kicker. There's plenty of them out there. They'll find one. I just thought it was an interesting story. Catanzaro, while he struggled, he said, my dream has always been to be in the NFL. I love it. So you'd think he'd do anything he could to work out his struggles. I mean, he's a kicker. I'm not trying to degrade the man or his position. He was getting paid a hell of a lot more money than I make. to kick footballs through the field goal posts, the uprights. So, what the hell could be so bad? What's so bad about your life that you don't want to be a kicker in the NFL anymore? You don't really have to risk injury. You're getting paid millions of dollars over a career to kick a football. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I'll trade places with you any day. And also, just to give up like that. I mean, I don't know him. Maybe he has some personal issues. Maybe he's got some demons. I have no idea. Maybe he just doesn't love the game anymore, and that's why he's given up. But, I mean, show a little fight. You just throw the towel in and give up like that. I mean, I don't know. Show a little heart. Show a little something. Now, I know you're not on a Super Bowl contender, so you don't have that going for you. But give me something more than, yeah, I'm done. I'm retiring. All right, enter the worst sun glare I've had in the history of the Dave Talk Sports video podcast. But, we're going to rub some dirt on it. We're going to keep it moving because we don't complain here. So you can find me on my YouTube channel. That's where we are right now, the Dave Talk Sports YouTube channel. Please subscribe below the video. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about Antonio Brown, Catanzaro retiring, and we're going to get to the baseball really soon. Like I said, National League East. We're getting there. But you can also find me on Twitter at DaveEttinger2 and my Facebook page and my website, both named Dave Talk Sports. So, Jets will figure it out. He's a kicker. I'm sorry that you're retiring at 28. I don't know what could be so bad. You're a kicker in the NFL, but best of luck. Thank you for your service. See ya. So, National League East. That's where we're heading now. The remainder of the podcast, we're going to talk. I know I talk about the Mets a lot, and I'm not a Mets fan, but you have to talk about the Mets right now. They finally lost a game on Sunday. They had won 15 out of 16 games. They don't have the best record in baseball or the National League, but they've had the best record in baseball since the All-Star break. The Mets have been unbelievable. All right, and I know. Everyone's going to jump down my throat. They're going to jump and come at me, and it's fine. That's fine. I'm going to sneeze. My apologies. Sorry. Everyone's going to come at me. Everyone's going to yell at me. Say, well, you wrote the Mets off. And you told me the Mets were done. And you told me the Mets had no chance to make the playoffs. All right. Again, don't yell at me. The Mets are still not going to make the playoffs. That hasn't changed. Forgive me as I put my visor down. I literally can't see. I might go blind. The Mets are still not going to make the playoffs. I mean, this hasn't changed. All right, we're going dark here for a second. I'm sorry. I literally can't see. This is the worst sun glare I've had in the history of the podcast. So you can just listen. You don't have to look at me. So the Mets are still not going to make the playoffs. Well, I know all my Mets fan friends are going to yell at me, and that's fine. Again, I don't hate the Mets. I dislike some of the delusional Mets fans, that exist. But I just don't wait. Just wait. I've been talking about it this whole time. August 20th through September 18th. Those are the dates we got to talk about. 28, and it starts now too. By the way, they're going to play the Braves coming up. 28 games, a 28-game stretch against the likes of the Braves, Phillies, Nationals, Rockies, Dodgers, all these teams. The only reprieve they get is the Royals. The Indians too. They get a lot of good, really good, and the Cubs. A lot of really good teams they have to play. So this stretch has been amazing. The comebacks over the weekend, amazing. The energy at Citi Field, I wasn't there. You could feel it just from watching, just from listening to the radio even. You could get it all. You could get that feeling, that energy, that buzz around Citi Field, and I get it. And I'm not telling Mets fans not to be excited. Go ahead. Enjoy the hell out of this. And you can tell me I'm a buzzkill. You can tell me that I'm a jerk. Tell me that this is exciting, of course. But don't tell me that you actually think the Mets are still going to make the playoffs. Look at who they have to compete with. Look at who they still have to jump over. After all this, 15 out of 16, and then they finally lose a game. They're still not the wild card team, not one of the wild card teams in the National League. So I get it. They can still play well, and the teams they're chasing can play poorly, and they can make the playoffs. Yes, it's physically possible. It could happen. I'm telling you, they're not as good as this stretch that they just went through. And this confidence and this buzz and all this energy is going to wear off. And when they play the really good teams, they're going to struggle. Edwin Diaz still sucks. The bullpen still sucks. While Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, and Conforto are all great, J.D. Davis is playing like a man possessed. This team is not going to play 700 baseball the rest of the way. They're not. I'd be lucky if they play 500 baseball the rest of the way, and that's not going to cut it. So I'm sorry if you're going to hate me if you're a Mets fan. Hate me because I'm a Yankees fan. Stop hating the Yankees more than you like your own team. Enjoy this while it lasts. And that's it. It's awesome. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. This kind of winning streak doesn't happen with every team every year. But it's 162 games. So I'm not going to judge an entire season on their absolute struggles when they were 10 games below 500. And I'm not going to only judge them through this stretch where they've won 15 of the last 17. I'm going to judge it as in its entirety, as a whole. And as a whole, this team is not a playoff team. Simple as that. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Now, staying in the NL East for our final story of the day, the Braves. A disastrous 9th inning, disastrous 10th inning that ended with Sean Newcomb blowing the game against the Marlins, which turned into a walk-off win for the Marlins. They gave up 7 runs in the final 3 innings of the game, the 8th, 9th, and 10th inning. And Sean Newcomb was not happy. He was the pitcher on the mound during the walk-off. Used to be a starter, got sent to the minors, back to the majors, then to the bullpen. He's been all over the place this year. And he decides to kick / punch / whatever it is that he did to a fire extinguisher, which actually punctured a hole in the fire extinguisher and it went off. So I'm going to retweet a video of this, but it basically filled the entire world with fire extinguisher smoke. What a jackass. It's funny. It's entertaining. Enjoy the video. Oh, what a moron. Listen, I know that you're pissed, but just know where you are, know your surroundings, know how dangerous things like that can be. I mean, what a jackwagon. The Braves are good. The Braves are going to win the NL East. Sean Newcomb is not having a season to remember. All right, so I can't take the sun glare anymore, which means I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Hopefully this was bearable. Hopefully you were able to watch. Again, I got to cover my eyes because I think I'm going to go blind. I'm Dave Ettinger, the host of the Dave Talk Sports podcast. Episode number, I lost count. Probably 38 or 39. Who knows? I'll figure it out when I get home. Thanks for watching the YouTube channel Dave Talk Sports. Please subscribe. Leave some comments below this sun glare. Follow me on Twitter at Dave Ettinger2. Facebook and my website, also named Dave Talk Sports. What else? I can't take this anymore. I'm going blind. Until tomorrow. See ya.